All right, Kenman here, and today is another die project unboxing. Double excitement. Who doesn't like a good unboxing? And the die pile's starting to get a little light over there, so let's go. Before we start, not sponsored by anyone. Purchase everything at retail price. I do these videos because I love discussing knives and sharing info and ideas with others. If you have any questions or thoughts, please feel free to comment below. All right, my bag collection grows. One of the days we should just look at all these bags that I possess. Occasionally, wow, that one didn't work. Occasionally they have something inside of them that's super cool. And we like to do that too. Whoosh, CJRB. Bag on the floor. You know I love my CJRBs. This one here is an interesting design, kind of snuck under my radar, but I'm quite interested in it, and so yeah, open the box. You can tell it's one of the more budget CJRBs come in this box here, and then they don't have the pouch, and the little bit more expensive ones will be in the other box and have the pouch with it. Whatever, it's fine. Box on the floor. Here it is. Recognize it yet? Let's get it out of the bag. Boom. Wow, that handle is fun. Mini bag on the floor. All right, okay. This is the CJRB Mangrove. Like I said, it's not, a lot of companies got a lot of designs, and sometimes one of them you just don't notice. Weak sauce, Kenman. You don't notice it as much, but yeah, I saw it and I was like, huh. All right, how about that? It's so interesting, this jade. It's going to be crazy when we dye this how much different that handle is going to be. Take a mental note now before I show you how plain that handle looks. And then we're going to get up here. Try to get in focus, but there are crazy uneven ridges and bumps and facets all over this handle. Maybe at an angle you can see them a little bit better too. Focus. But it's got a crazy kind of a weird bumpy rocky kind of texture to it. Ooh. That is quite interesting. So that will be fun. Like I said, once we dye it, the dye tends to bring out the textures and the lines and the facets in the details of the scales. I've noticed every time. I don't really have one in front of me. Here's this artisan cutlery. If you see those little lines on the edge right there, you could barely see those at all, and now they kind of stick out quite a bit more. It's kind of what I'm getting at. So this handle will be different looking. It'll definitely have more of a rocky kind of chunky texture when we get that dye going. I'm excited for that. So let's kind of check this thing out. Looks like it's a flipper tab only. Looks like the detent is not huge. I can fail it. I failed it that first time. If I barely try to push, so you can get that to just kind of fall out. So it'd be kind of nice, or I personally prefer it when that detent is a little bit more powerful, so that by the time it breaks, see, that time it didn't even click all the way out. It just has enough power to just go whop whop and send that blade all the way out. So we'll take a look. It's right here. It's pretty small little bump, doesn't require much. So you kind of have to put a little more flick into it, or maybe a little wrist, if you will. I wonder if I could get into that fuller if it's light like that. Ooh, almost. With this pocket clip being on that side, it's harder for me to grab it. Maybe I can do it with my right. Almost. I bet I could. You can almost flick that out with that. You can see it's got kind of almost a secondary grind right across here. It's not sharp right there, but it definitely is a little bit to to remove some of that weight off of that tip. It's kind of an interesting shaped blade, right? But okay, get back to it. Drops down pretty good, so you have to give it a little bit of power. That detent's a little bit weak. We have the G10 scale, so that'll be for the die project. If you haven't seen my dies that are in the project here, bing, check it out right there. AR RPM 9 blade steel on this interesting kind of a drop pointy double. Yep. Got a little swoop right here for your index finger to kind of get in for some cuts. No jimps at all. I love me a jimp. Although it kind of has a clean, kind of smooth design to it. It isn't bad. It kind of feels all right. I feel kind of locked in. Decent. Handle is large. I have a larger hand. It does kind of have this little bump here and here, so it kind of wants to force your fingers in certain spots, but my hand's big enough that that last notch right there, my pinky goes behind that, and it's comfortable. That feels good. And there's still a little nub sticking out, so you don't feel like you're slipping off at all. A little shift that comes way down to there. Not bad. Liner lock. The drop action, it feels like it's pretty good. Not too tough to get to going. That should be really nice and drop shutty as we break it in. Clip can be swapped to the other side, so that is nice. You can get that in that little, it's got a little recessed space that it drops into right there. You've got your lanyard, big old lanyard hole for the lanyard people. This clip, I don't know about this clip. It's got the extra on the end. I don't know, it's not so bad. I kind of prefer like the pyrite clip. Doesn't have that extra little bigger section at the end. We'll test it out. Okay, yeah, that detent could be better. Okay, the blade is solid. No movement, that's good. Centering is nice and centered. That would be the only issue I would say, is that detent is not very heavy. You can look at how easy I can kind of just two finger lightly squeeze and kind of pull that out. If that has a little bit more strength to it, that would make that flip out much more satisfying. Yeah, feels all right. Let's get a little close-up action here. Come across there, you can kind of see those facets a little bit more. Got the nice gold pivot collar, that neat blade shape. What's everyone think about this one? Interesting knife. Not mad at it. Keep the print stuff all tucked into here nice and tight, so it keeps the hole look fairly clean. Nice little look to it. Alright, let's get some measurements here. Excuse me. This is a full-size knife. It's pushing almost 8 1/4. The blade length is about 3 1/2 with a 3 1/4 cutting surface. Handle is 4 3/4. Not bad. I always compare everything with the pyrite. I figure it's a good size everyone's pretty comfortable with or knows about. If you don't, pyrite is great. Check it out. Pyrite is a little bit smaller. It's not quite a full-size knife, so you can see that handle's got that 1/2 inch. The blade's got about a 1/2 inch on the pyrite there. The one that's on the bottom generally looks a little bit bigger because it's a little closer to the camera. So you can see it looks quite a bit longer when this one's on the bottom there. But it's not huge. Let's go ahead and grab, like, the frac is the extremely oversized. Oh, wow, look at this. Oversized kind of pyrite, I kind of say. Like, they made a pyrite large, but they also made this frac. And when they made this frac, I fell in love. This knife is sweet. But it is a big one. So putting the Mangrove next to the frac there. It's actually fairly close. Like I said, Mangrove's on the bottom, so it's going to look like it's closer to the same size. Go ahead and get the frac down here, and you'll see. It's actually pretty close. I'm fairly close to straight down right now, really. But it's got that same, the frac is a little bit bigger, the Mangrove, as the Mangrove was a little bit bigger to the pyrite. You see, kind of a perfect bump, right? Lays right in between the two. I did just get the mini pyrite. See that for a full size difference? Or if you're into it, I'm like the Lago. It's almost the same size as the Lago. Maybe almost a little bit bigger than the Lago. As you can see, I like CJRBs that have the hole. I like CJRB in general. This one's a nice looking knife. I'm excited to kind of mess around with it here. Let's go ahead and get a weight. Oh, without touching it. 0. We are in 131 grams. 4.64 ounces. That seems like that's a little bit heavier. What's the pyrite? 3.67 on the pyrite. Frac, titanium frac, 3.79. 4.64. It's kind of heavy. Yeah, Lago's kind of heavy. Lago's a thick handle though as well. So yeah, 4.64, kind of heavier on the Mangrove. Kind of a beefy taco right there, right? Interesting knife. I can dig it. What color would we like to see the dye on this? Any thoughts? It's a mangrove. Do we want to think about that? Mangrove plants, brown, green. Doesn't matter. We could go hot pink for all I care. Comment below. Tell me what you think. What would you like to see? More dye projects will be coming soon. Unboxings, more laser marking. Did you see the agave that I did? There's another CJRB, but I did that cactus kind of succulent agave print laser mark on the handle there. Turned out really cool. More of that coming, more of the scrimshaw. Lots of fun stuff on the channel. That is going to be it for today with the new CJRB Mangrove. If you enjoy what you see, please hit that like button and subscribe if you would like to see more. Helps me out and I really appreciate it. Stay sharp. Get them on that detent. We'll see you soon.